Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Equality and Rights for All. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have a very interesting topic for today's show in which it is remote working, which is working from home, is not a bad thing. The problem is that companies or agencies are not enforcing proper rules and regulations about it. So let's get right into this. Remote working is not a bad thing. Like for people who have, um, let's say, if you have workers who have to take care of their elderly parents, right? And they can't afford a home health aide or home attendant for them, and they have to work from home. Uh, if the peop if some if the workers have kids, like let's say really small little kids, and they don't have anybody to watch them, or they can't put their kids in a daycare. If they can't afford to put their kids in a daycare or something like that, and they have to work from home, or if the workers end up getting sick or something, but they don't want to take days off, but they can work from home. You know, things like that, um, which is not a bad thing. You know, um, So, but here's the thing: like these companies or agencies, they would have to set up the rules and regulations for remote working. Okay, and the workers would have to show legal documentation. Let's say if they're sick and they can't come into the building to work, but they want to work from home. They have to show legal documentation from a legally licensed medical practitioner or even a hospital or whatever to show that they are sick and they cannot be around other people, that they have to be, at home. That's one thing. Another thing is they have to show proof. They have to show legal documentation that they have an elderly parent to take care of and they can't afford a home attendant, or they have to show legal documentation that they have children that that and they can't they can't afford a daycare or something like that, or whatever. You got to show legal documentation to the bosses, to the agencies, to the administration, showing this, and the agency or the company can then work together with the worker and say, okay, we can work this out. How you can work remotely from home, you know, whether uh, and maybe that company or agency, they can set up their systems properly, because there is a HIPAA law, uh, and they gotta protect their clients' personal information and everything, and so on and so forth. So um, you have to have proper security set up and everything, and you know they can say, okay, this is what you got to do. You can sign in this way from home, and blah blah blah, blah, and and so on and so forth. You know, um, uh, so I mean, you know, or how about for those um, taking care of elderly parents or whatever? They say, oh, we can't afford a home attendant. You have to show legal documentation about everything, and basically the same thing. You know, you could work it out with the higher brass that be. And then the agencies have to work it out to have the system running smoothly, whether um, you know from this computer systems for the workers at home, to the companies to the company's systems and so forth, and you know that way, or they can have, say, if files need to be sent to the office from your computer, tell the receptionist. The receptionist has to put it into the proper places. They got to work it out. In other words, right? So that's what needs to happen. But if you have workers, let's say, that are in their 20s and they're going to college and stuff, and they say, "Oh, I want to work from home because I can't do college and work." Tough noogies. Tough. That's not a good excuse whatsoever. This is the real world. In the real world, this is how life is. And you get strict with them. And you say rules and regulations. Rules, regulations. That's it. Or if you have some of these young workers that are in their 20s and they say, "I don't like how this place is run. I'm going to talk to the boss, and if I don't get my way, I'm going to run to my mommy and daddy." No, no, you don't do that. You don't do that. So, um, this is the real world. And so, uh, this is how the agencies have to do things. These are how the companies have to do things. You can't just say, "Oh, remote work is bad," or, no, it's not a bad thing. But to everything that, uh, to everything there is good and bad, yes. But, when you have people who have to take care of loved ones, or if they got kids, or if they're home severely sick, they got to use the brain and do things the right way. You know, um, you know, but to just say, "Oh, I just want to work from home and that's it," but no, because uh, just working from home just to work at home, you know, that could be a setback for the company. But if you have to work from home, fine, then you have to work from home. But there's pluses to working in office too. Don't get me wrong. You know, um, but seriously, you know, it's a company that have to set the rules and regulations for everybody to follow, from the higher brass that be, all the way straight down. Seriously. So, but working from home is not a fully bad thing like some people make it out to. "Oh, it's just fully bad. There's nothing good about it." No, there's good and bad to everything, and it also depends upon the situation, like I was proving. But anyways, but before I forget, but not every uh, business can have workers working from home. Like you have people who work in fast food restaurants, can't work from home. You know, so you got to think about these things. But anyways, um, I want to remind all my fans out there about the business that my husband and I have together called AWLDNY. The link to there is awldny.com, and you guys can check out all the items on there. And I also wanted to remind all my fans out there about my other business, my other website that I have called Advocate Information Highway. And the link to there is AIHNY.com. Again, that is AIHNY.com. And you guys can check out all the pages on there. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.